Good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you're tuning in from. Well, what a day. Going to get started with the live stream here in about a minute. We'll give it another 60 seconds or so for people to jump on. But jam-packed day. We had the Fed interest rate decision. What else do we have? That's pretty much it. We had Tilray Brands short squeeze and earnings absolutely crushed. So going to jump into it here in just a moment. But sit tight, smash the like, share the video with anybody that can jump on here last minute, and we'll get started here in about 45 seconds. I see we have a lot of people joining the stream. Welcome. Going to get started here in about 30 seconds. If you can smash the like, share the video with anybody that can jump on here last minute. We're going to do a Tilray Brands Q4 and Fiscal 2023 earnings review. We'll also discuss the conference call. But as you're hopping on, let us know where you're tuning in from and let us know what you think of these earnings today. Were you surprised? Did you expect this? Was there anything that caught your attention? What was the biggest thing that stood out to you? And let me know what you think of the conference call if you were able to join that. I did post a video on that as well. Just sit tight and we'll get started here in about 15 seconds. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. It's Wednesday, July 26th. Happy hump day. Hope you're doing awesome. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing Tilray Brands Q4 fiscal 2023 earnings and financial results. We'll discuss all that and more of the conference call. We'll do a review. I'll try to go through this as quickly as possible, and then at the end, I'll save some time for any questions, any kind of comments or anything like that, and we'll go through it. But hope you had a great day, as I mentioned, and we'll jump into the live stream. So thanks to everybody who join the live stream. I see we have over a dozen people here at the moment, so welcome. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. We'll jump into the press release here in just a moment. I'm not going to read the entire press release so you can breathe a sigh of relief, but I do want to go through some key points. But I did post a video, it was about 5-6 hours ago, of the conference call, so I actually recorded that. So if you haven't seen that yet, I don't think the transcript came out yet, but there is a replay on Tilray Brands website. But if you want to check out the video on YouTube, you can also increase the speed as well. So if you want to do it a little bit faster, you can do up to 2x speed, but it was an hour and 11 minutes. So if you want to increase the speed, that will save you some time. So hopefully that helps. Also, not going to go into this because YouTube doesn't like it, but I picked this up today, some animal runts from Redican, some amazing new flour. It's available in Edmonton, Alberta now, and it's only $17 Canadian with tax included for 3.5 Gs. Smells amazing. Can't wait to try it later this evening. I'll keep everybody posted on my thoughts, but it's coming in at 31.4%. But you can go through here. You can hit this. If you just go to my YouTube page, click on community, and then hit the arrow here. It'll show you some pictures of the flour and everything. But again, I don't want to go through it here on this live stream because that probably will get flagged and it might end up making the video 18 plus, and then people who aren't signed into YouTube won't be able to view the video, and it's just a pain in the butt. So not going to do that, but just as a reminder and a public service announcement, I do post all of the raw footage and pictures of all the products that I buy on here and a lot of different things that you can potentially get flagged for on Facebook and things like that. So you can go there and just regularly check the community tab on my YouTube page because it's not censored there. So here is the press release. Tilray Brands reports record Q4 financial results. Let me know what you think of this revenue because they absolutely crushed it. I did not expect that whatsoever. They did allude to the fact that Hexo was a big component of that. But as I mentioned before, we should see in yesterday's video, we should see even more fruits of that labor and that acquisition come up on the next quarter. So Q1 2024, and then that will be in October. And that will be for a period ending in August. And if anybody's confused by the Q4, it's not the actual calendar year, it's the fiscal, right? So different companies have different year ends, and doesn't actually exactly line up with the actual calendar quarter. So record Q4 net revenue of $184 million, representing 20% growth year over year, $627 million of net revenue for fiscal year 2023. On a constant currency basis, fiscal year 2023 net revenue grew 6% to $668 million. $8 million of net cash from operating activities generated for fiscal 2023. Achieved nearly $200 million improvement in adjusted free cash flow compared to fiscal year 2022. Increased Tilray's number one MJ market share position in Canada to 13% with HEXO acquisition, and substantially grew medical MJ market position across Europe. Company issues some guidance for the next fiscal year 2024. And like I said, conference call was at 8:30 a.m. today. You can check out the recording that I done on that. But we'll go through some key highlights here. I do want to, before we jump into some more details on that, they did beat substantially on the revenues. You can see here it came in at $184.19 million versus $159.1 million expected. This is in US dollars as well. Everything in the press release and in their earnings and financial results are expressed in US dollars unless otherwise stated. EPS was forecasted at negative 0.05 USD, and it came in at negative 0.15. And they said that a lot of this attributed to the goodwill and the impairment that they had last quarter, but this wasn't any new information. But they did miss pretty big there on earnings per share, but massive revenue beat, and that is why the stock was up in my opinion. But absolutely crushed, and a record quarter for the company. Global powerhouse in the making. I've never been more bullish on this company in my entire life, and a lot of analysts, a lot of people were just kind of biting their fingers, not really sure how this was going to transpire, but they acquired the best company in the MJ world, and that is HEXO in my opinion. And if you read through the information here, if you were on the conference call, it sounded more like a HEXO company than a Tilray company, because all the questions, all the the comments, there's like Irwin Simon, the management team at Tilray, super bullish on the Tilray brands, specifically Redecan and the Reddies, but focusing on getting rid of products that didn't have any good margin and focusing on the good margin products. But yeah, it's notable that they continue to get tons of questions about HEXO, and very bullish. They say they love the brands, and they have a lot of, they said the out west here, it's been really, really good in terms of growth, and they're really liking what they're seeing. And that's because they acquired the best MJ company in the world. So no wonder they're liking what they're seeing. But before we continue on, there was a Fed interest rate decision today that came in as expected, but we'll look at that here in just a moment. But we'll go through this a little bit quicker here. So CEO Irwin Simon, our financial performance is demonstrative of Tilray Brands being the leading, most diversified MJ lifestyle and CPG company in the world. During the 2023 fiscal year, we delivered our commitment to generate positive adjusted free cash flow across all business segments. That is huge, and executed against our strategic plan to grow revenue, drive operating efficiencies, and improve margins and profitability, all while investing in our industry-leading brands. Mr. Simon continued, the recent closing of HEXO, best MJ company in the world, transaction has boosted our competitive positioning in Canada, the largest federally legalized MJ market in the world. We are working towards a seamless integration into our efficient, built-to-last platforms as we leverage our deep CPG expertise and track record to drive both revenue and cost synergies while expanding product distribution in Canada and across international markets. So as I mentioned, I'm not going to go through this. So again, just point out some key highlights. So I already went over the revenue. So reporting segments for MJ beverage alcohol distribution, each individually grew revenue by $10 million in the fourth quarter, or 20% compared to the prior year. Gross profit was $67 million, while adjusted gross profit was $68 million in the quarter. Gross margin was 36%, which is great to see, while adjusted gross margin rose to 37% from 33% in the prior quarter. MJ net revenue increased 21% to $64 million in the fourth quarter compared to $53 million. On a constant currency basis, net MJ revenue was $69 million in the quarter, up 29% from the prior year quarter. MJ gross margin increased 61% in the quarter from negative 36% in the prior quarter. Thank you, HEXO. And MJ adjusted gross margin rose 61% from the quarter to 53% in the prior year quarter, reflecting contribution for the HEXO arrangement. Yay, the golf clap. So again, we should see even more. It's no wonder they bought HEXO, right? Also, I bought some of their Good Supply pre-rolls. Absolutely terrible. I was like, how can a billion-dollar company like Tilray make pre-rolls like this? It was absolutely, like, they didn't even burn. It wouldn't light properly, and halfway through it stopped burning because the filter was terrible. It's like, no wonder they bought HEXO, the best MJ company in the world. And we'll see even more bullish and even more numbers contributing from the HEXO arrangement into next quarter. And they were expecting a pretty big jump up. You can see here 159 forecast. It came in at 184, and then next quarter 163 versus negative 0.44. I'm not sure why that says that, actually. It was a pretty big jump on the Tilray on the Canadian side. Try not to get too sidetracked here, but I did want to bring that up because it is important. Yeah, 206 million to 219, so they're pretty big jump there. But 242.99 million Canadian and negative 0.1979 EPS Canadian. Try to get back on track here. Beverage alcohol net revenue, blah blah blah. So yeah, they mentioned in the call that they're going to continue. They're going to just absolutely dominate the craft beer market, and I absolutely love that. Craft beer is my favorite. They have Alpine and things like that, but I don't know. I'm pretty sick of beers like that, and Coors Light, all that stuff tastes like water to me. But yeah, definitely trying to incorporate more cannabis into my life instead of alcohol bevs. But with them waiting on U.S. to legalize, it's not a bad strategy to have some diversification in alcohol, and craft beer is great. I think there's a ton of growth there. I don't think there's a ton of growth in the other segments, so it's smart. And then they can introduce MJ into all of those infused brands that they have for alcohol. So it's just this is going to be a behemoth, an absolute monster in the making. I think this company's going to make multi-millionaires, many multi-millionaires in the next 5, 10 plus years. And the trick is finding companies that are going to be unicorns. They're going to be here in 5, 10 plus years. They're going to weather the storm right until the U.S. legalizes. And I think Tilray in MJ is going to be a top 5, if not the top company globally. Distribution net revenue increased 19% to 73 million. Net loss of 120 million in the fourth quarter compared to a net loss of 458 million in the prior quarter. That is a massive improvement. And adjusted net loss of 32 million in the fourth quarter compared to adjusted net loss of 46 million in the prior year quarter. Adjusted EBITDA rose 93% to 22 million in the fourth quarter from 12 million in the prior year quarter. Operating cash flow 44 million in the fourth quarter compared to negative 21 million in the prior year quarter. Adjusted free cash flow 43 million compared to adjusted free cash flow of negative 24 million in the prior year quarter. Wow, I wouldn't want to be the auditor in this thing, because there's a lot going on. Holy crapoly. But yeah, I mean, imagine being the people, that are preparing this and the auditor. But just look at how professional it is and how well done, and just what an absolute world-class company this is shaping up to be. Never been more excited to be alive and experiencing all this with you, the medicine of the future, the best industry in the planet. And I'll be here through the thick and the thin, the bear markets, the bull markets. Don't care if we're down 99%. Don't care if we're up 10x, 1,000%. I'll be here through the thick and the thin, and I'll be making videos for the rest of my life. You can guarantee that. So, financial highlights for the fiscal 2023 year. Net revenue of 627 million compared to 628 million in the prior fiscal year. Gross profit was 147 million. So again, we'll skim through this here. MJ net revenue was 220 million. And now that they got the best MJ company in the world, Hexo, which is purely a 100% MJ business. It's no wonder they wanted to add that, because they were starting to slide in their MJ business, and barely any of the revenue was coming from MJ, right? And now they got the best MJ company in the world, who is 100% focused on MJ. So it's just an absolute brilliant move here. Irwin Simon deserves a pat in the back. MJ gross margin was 26% compared to 18%, and I think Hexo is going to continue to help there because they're getting rid of those low-cost margins, and the Readies have an absolute massive margin. I think it's like upwards of 40%, close to 40 or 50%. Again, noting the Hexo arrangement. Beverage alcohol net revenue increased 33% for the prior fiscal year to 95 million. And we'll go through this here. Distribution net revenue was 259 million compared to 260, so slight drop off there. Achieved 22 million in annualized run rate savings, and I think they said they were gonna save another, in terms of synergies. I think they were expecting like another 15 million or something like that, 20 million in savings with Hexo acquisition. Let me know if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the number that they said on the conference call. So yeah, 22 million in annualized run rate savings as part of the 30 million cost optimization plan announced in Q4 2022. Total annualized cash cost savings since the closing of Tilray Afria transaction reached 128 million. I mean, think about it. Tilray, Afria, Hexo, Redecan. This is, wow. This is an absolute behemoth. Just in the MJ space. And then they got Alpine, the Breckenridge Distillery, they got Sweetwater. Like, we'll go through it here. Net loss, 1,443 million though. 1.443 billion compared to a net loss of 434 million. So that's pretty brutal. But like I said, I think they're starting to turn the ship around, and then with adding Hexo, it's just going to make things that much better. Adjusted net loss of 130 million compared to a net loss of 183 million in the fiscal year. Adjusted EBITDA rose 28% to 61 million from 48 million in the prior fiscal year. making the fourth consecutive year of positive adjusted EBITDA, in line with their adjusted EBITDA guidance of $60 million to $66 million. Strong financial liquidity position of $450 million. As we know, they did a raise recently, $150 million. They said that they did want to dip into that cash, and they continue to reiterate on the call today that they're going to be focusing on fruit and vegetables that is very needed here in Canada. And then especially with like the flooding and stuff going on in Nova Scotia, heart goes out to those people. There's people that died from that. So all to families affected by that. I'm from the East Coast, definitely, thinking of those people, and using the greenhouse facilities and things like that. I think it's a great idea, and they continue to say that they're going to keep their cash for investment purposes and strategic mergers and acquisitions potentially. And I've even been on record to say VFF could potentially be somebody they're looking to acquire, especially with all this mentioning of fruit and vegetables. But consisting of $207 million in cash and $242 million in marketable securities, achieved positive adjusted cash flow across all operating segments in 2023 fiscal year. So leadership in global MJ operation brands, market share further solidified through Hexo acquisition. Again, they continue to mention Hexo. Tons of the questions on the conference call were from Hexo and about Hexo. And then they even mentioned just in part, in the first part of the conference call, how bullish they are on Hexo, maximizing the high growth potential of U.S. CPG and craft beverage portfolio. So they did have some guidance here. Company expects to achieve adjusted EBITDA targets of $68 million to $78 million, representing a growth of 11% to 27% compared to the fiscal year 2023. In addition, the company expects to generate positive adjusted free cash flow. And this is something that we haven't seen in the MJ industry, some guidance, right? And it's adjusted EBITDA is provided on a non-GAAP basis and excludes transaction expenses, integration charges, restructuring charges, litigation costs, startup and closure costs, lease expense, purchase price, accounting step-up, changes in fair value, contingent consideration, blah, blah, blah. Let's go through this here. Management guidance for adjusted free cash flow is provided on a non-GAAP basis and excludes our projected integration costs related to Hexo and the cash income taxes related to Aphria Diamond. So that's pretty much it. They go through some growth actions and just some timeline. So I mentioned they had some new drinks from Riff, and then announced this partnership with AT Live and Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Sweetwater Brewing. Like, look at all this. Breckenridge, Montauk Brewing, Hexo, Tilray, Aphria, Redican, Tilray Medical, especially across Europe, Soleil Brand. What else we got here? Manitoba Harvest, Alpine Beer, CANACA, and then they also mentioned that they're going to be rebranding CC Pharma as Tilray Pharma, I think, for distribution business. But yeah, Good Supply, Soleil, you got Riff, Tilray Brands, and Charlotte Webb announced strategic alliance in Canada. That was back in November 2022. They just got their hand in everything, and like I said, it's just so exciting to just see all of this, right, kind of play out and just see how big this company has become. Used to be Canopy, the leader in the space, but make way for King Tilray. So Fed interest rate decision came in at 25 basis points as expected. So we're at 5.5% now. And Fed approves the hike that takes interest rates to the highest level in more than 22 years. So the pause has stopped and they increased it. Next meeting will be in September. We'll go through this here real quickly and then we'll jump into the comments. Tilray Q4 earnings, so blowout results likely to create short squeeze, which we did get. We were up about 26% off of the lows. We'll just take a quick peek. But yeah, I can see here was updated on TradingView as well. But from the low, it's also an hourly bull flag as well, which we'll dive into the chart here in a moment. But I just want to take a look at the low of yesterday to the high today. So the low of yesterday to the high, we were up roughly 27%. And I mentioned yesterday that we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on the daily time frame, and we still haven't even seen those cross yet. So adding more confidence to the fact that we could see an hourly bull flag and uptrend continuation into tomorrow, which would give us a target of about 241. But we'll look at that here in just a moment. We'll go through this here. Seeking Alpha had a nice summary. So exceeded revenue estimates by 20%. Gross margins were solid across all segments. With one of the best balance sheets in the MJ sector, Tilray is likely to be a survivor. Absolutely. Not just survive, but thrive, and likely be top 3, in my opinion, if not the top MJ company globally for decades to come. Short interest is not the highest in the world, but the big beat creates potential for some level of a short squeeze. Conservative income portfolio members get it, blah, blah, blah. So we'll go through here. Current valuation is not too demanding of Tilray and remains easily the leader in the Canadian space. Unlike Canopy Growth, another stock we cover, we will not give this a sell rating as it is adjusted. Gross margins are good and balance sheet is far better. So we'll go through here a little quicker. Yeah, revenue, they just go reiterate some of this stuff I've already gone over here. That's pretty much it, I guess. Some of this improvement came after the acquisition and integration of the Hexo segment, but there's definitely an underlying momentum to Tilray's sales and profits, absolutely, but they just acquired a 100% focused MJ company. And like I said, in my opinion, the best MJ company in the world, to echo Charlie Bowman, the previous CEO of Hexo's comments. Making inroads in the Canadian market, and the share is now about 13%. Number one in all categories and pre-rolls. Yeah, I'm just going to bring up Powell Group Private Community. I did do some notes here for Powell Group Private members. Number one in flour, oils, and concentrates. Number two in pre-rolls. That'll probably be number one here soon with Reddy's from Redican. And number four in vape, and top 10 in all other categories. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had for notes. I think I've already gone over most of everything that I jotted down. So we'll continue on here. We'll jump into the chat. But let me know what you think of this so far. Can you see this is likely going to be the biggest company in MJ? I can definitely see it. Company also has one of the most formidable balance sheets in the sector with about $450 million in cash and cash equivalents. Some investors may confuse the low stock price with bankruptcy risk. And you'd just be absolutely ludicrous to think that they were going insolvent or bankrupt. They have way too many assets. There's no way Tilray, it'd be multiple years before they would go bankrupt. And then there's the Molson. I was hoping they would have gave some update on the Molson Coors and Trust partnership and joint venture now that they acquired Hexo, but I didn't hear them say anything on that. But I'll see if I can get an interview with Tilray at some point, or even Trust. I'd like to get an interview with Trust and see if I can get, an update on that. But that seems rather far-fetched for Tilray. Case in point, the company issued convertible debt at just 5.2% interest rate. It's like lower than some mortgage rates right now. That's crazy. So kudos to them. Yeah, and they refinanced that debt, extended it out. So yeah. Dropped 99.3%, but as we know, pretty much all MJ companies, doesn't matter if you're U.S. operators, Canadian operators, retailers, ETFs, pretty much everything down 80 to 90% plus. So, yeah, moving on. MJ Biz Daily reports Canadian MJ producer Tilray reports $1.4 billion annual loss. But again, huge. For the quarter, it was $120 million in March to May quarter, a substantial improvement over $458 million loss in the previous year's quarter. Just going to go through here. Yeah, some of the company's key business segments did very well in the quarter. Already went over this. Yeah, alcohol grew 43% compared to the quarter last year. Lost ground in almost all its key segments on an annual basis. So we'll cruise through this. Continue to mention Hexo and boosted our competitive positioning. Working towards a seamless integration. And I mentioned that in the stream yesterday. It's funny how I use the same word, seamless. In our fish, because they had that strategic alliance, right? It's not like they just acquired a Freya where they didn't have that strategic alliance for a whole year, so it should be pretty seamless. All right, moving through, let's check the after hours price. At 194, we were up about 2% there at one point. And we still haven't seen the MD&A, Management Discussion and Analysis, on CDAR. So I'm not sure why. It hasn't even updated the financial results. Usually this is out before the press release. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But taking a look at the Tilray charts, we'll look at the technicals. So today we did shoot up we could potentially confirm an hourly downtrend here. We have the high, low, lower high. So if we lose the low there at 191, we'll be in an hourly downtrend, and at that point we can expect daily consolidation more than likely into tomorrow. We now have a gap as well to fill there at 172, which is the high yesterday, but we could still see that EMA 12 and 26 bull cross play out on those exponential moving averages. But on the hourly time frame, it is an hourly bull flag as long as 191 holds. So you take the low to the high of the move, which was about a 27% from the low of yesterday. So you just take your fib tool, you go from the low to the high, and then you take the measured move, you go from low to the high with a trend line, and then you extrapolate that out. And you can see here we're targeting about 241. So in order to negate this hourly bull flag, we need to lose 191. If we lose 191, we're no longer expecting this bull flag continuation. If we break resistance at 211, which is the high of the day, then we confirm the hourly bull flag, and we're targeting about 241, which would be about another 25% of upside from current levels where we closed, but from the high of the day today, about 14%. So I did mention that we had the weekly time frame, weekly bear flag on watch, and I was a little concerned about that. We did break bullish out of the falling wedge as well, but we didn't confirm the weekly bear flag with a loss of 150, sorry. So I said it was all about 162, I think it was. We had a triple bottom. We didn't lose 162, and we got a bullish reaction to the earnings, and then we held 150 as well ultimately, which would have confirmed the weekly bear flag. But what did I say yesterday in the video? I said if we break above 193, that negates the bear flag. So we broke well above that. So at this point, we can pretty much rule this out, that we're likely not going to see another leg down at this point. So you can breathe a sigh of relief. And again, technical analysis is all about having an edge, right? Support and resistances, and just looking at patterns, indicators, getting an edge, right? Wouldn't you rather know that something has a 60%, 80% probability because 6 or 7 patterns or indicators are saying, yeah, we're bullish, we're going up from here? Wouldn't you rather know that 7 out of 10 indicators and patterns are bullish and saying we're going to this price? Or would you, on the flip side, 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 indicators and patterns are saying we're going to the downside? Wouldn't you rather have that information, right? Instead of just being like a deer in the headlights and not really knowing. But again, it's not a guarantee, but technical analysis is just odds and probabilities, right? And having that extra edge and just more tools in your tool belt. And if you don't know technical analysis, you can always learn. There's tons of resources out there. We even got powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com will take you there. I have a free course. You can check that out. You can join the Pow Group private community if you want to do a 7-day free trial. Email me or go to our website, fill out the contact form if you want a free trial. Or you can just subscribe at the monthly. It's $9.99 a month on sale right now at the moment, or $99 a year. And there's almost 50 people in our group where we all have different strengths and weaknesses. But if you don't know technical analysis, you can learn it from myself, or you can just ask me questions directly in the community. And you'll get live streams as well, usually before the market closes, and you can do ticket requests, and I can do the technical analysis for you. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Some people think it's super boring. I like fundamental and technical news as well. But it just depends what floats your boat. But SPY broke to a new high today, 456.99. The high before that was 456.43, or sorry, 456.74, and then we hit 456.99 on this news from the interest rate decision. And we're still watching DXY, the dollar index. We're very close to confirming, seeing more. Well, we did confirm the monthly downtrend and bear flag. So this is very, very bullish for stocks and crypto. And MJ. But like I said, I don't think safe banking is going to take us out of this. We're losing steam on that. Hopes of that passing are just kind of fading. And like I said, I've been on record to say that I don't think safe banking is going to, because it's not going to fix 280E tax burden. It would definitely make prices go up if it get passed, but it's not going to fix the major issue, which is taxation. And like I said, HHS review potentially to a Schedule 3 and beyond, or even descheduling. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Schedule 3 is most likely, but I think that's the most likely catalyst leading into the end of the year. We could see that into October, November, into the end of the year, and then even legalization of medical into next year. There's so many catalysts that can happen, but in that, depending on the rescheduling or descheduling, that could even solve 280E and uplisting the NYSE and the NASDAQ. So that's what I think is their best bet. But we're looking real good here on the 10-week moving average. If we can see a weekly candle close, preferably 2 to 3, because you can see here we closed above it a couple times, got knocked right back down. We're very bullish on the stochastic and the MACD on the weekly time frame, and we're well above the 10-week moving average. So if we can get 2, preferably 3 weekly candle closes over 167 USD, we're looking real good. In terms of the weekly moving averages, like I said yesterday, nothing nearby until 280. So if we keep going here and bouncing on the weekly time frame, watch for that to potentially bump our heads, because we haven't got over that ever since the highs of February 2021 on the Dems taking control of the Senate on hopes of U.S. legalization. That was a high of $67, and then look what happened. We had a bear cross of the shorter term above the longer term. When it's the weekly, it's even more bearish, and rejected. So if we can get one to two candle closes over that 10-week moving average there at 280, we're likely heading up to $5 in a hurry. In terms of the daily time frame, we almost had a golden cross here back at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, but we're still a ways away. We are over the 50-day moving average though, but we topped out just below the 100-day moving average and the 200-day moving average there at 273. So 280 and 273 going to be very, very strong resistance. We can get over that. We got some runway, like I said, all the way up to about $5. And then we could see a golden cross with the 50-day below the 200-day moving average when the shorter term's below the 200-day moving average, and the 50-day moving average when they cross, that's called a golden cross on the daily time frame. And then, like I said, this could be huge, seeing a golden cross, because look what happened the last time we had a golden cross on Tilray. It was way back here again when the feds took control of the Senate, when the Dems took control of the Senate on hopes of U.S. legalization. But look how even more beaten down we are than the last time. So when that bullish cross occurred, it was like $7.50. We went all the way up to $67. Then we had a death cross with the 50 shorter term above the longer term in the 200-day moving average. When that happens, that's a death cross. And then we dropped 99%. I guess it was 98% from February 2021 highs. Take a quick look. But again, this is par for the course. Pretty much all names down over 90% from February 2021 highs and all-time highs. But yeah, almost 97.75%. So pretty much 98%. But great to see that we could see a golden cross over the next, I would say, 2 to 3 months. So I think at some point over the next 3 to 6 months, we'll get HHS come back with the rescheduling, and then DOJ ultimately make the decision, then off to Biden, and then potential legalization of U.S. Medical in the U.S. But I think HHS could really help us and be that catalyst to knock us out. And then, like I said, that'll probably, and then we have the next interest rate decision from the Fed will be in September. I'm very bullish into the end of the year here. Not to say that we couldn't see a temporary pullback or a black swan event, but it's looking real good. And you can finally start to see some light at the end of the tunnel. But kudos to Tilray. Absolute phenomenal quarter. And just so excited for the future. It's literally going to be the best MJ company in the world, in my opinion. And an absolute powerhouse. Just an absolute behemoth in the making. So we'll jump into the chat here. I do have to get running in about 10-15 minutes. Thanks everybody. We've got over 30 people on the stream here at the moment, but hope you had a great day, and thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your comments and contributions to the live stream. We'll go through this here. Loading screen. Tilray is stabilizing, so it seems. Absolutely, yeah. After this quarter, it's definitely looking great. And like I said, that interest rate, what was it, 5.2% on their debt, and extending that debt out, and now acquiring the best MJ company in the world, in my opinion, Hexo, who's 100% focused on MJ. That was what they really needed, I think, to set this over the edge. I gotta say, I didn't expect Tilray to beat at all. I expected them to miss in the EPS because of the mention they had that impairment that they mentioned from Q3 2023 on the call. I didn't expect them to beat on EPS, but I could have potentially foreseen a beat on revenue. I didn't think that they were going to have that rate of a result either, but technicals, in my opinion, were definitely favoring downside. But as we know, news can change that, and technicals kind of go out the window at that point. And with that massive beat in terms of revenue, it's no wonder. And then just all their business segments having absolute phenomenal growth. So how is everybody? I'm doing amazing. Thank you very much for asking. Hope you're doing well as well. Did Simon actually say that Tilray is positioned in 21 countries? Yes, he did. That must be like across all business segments, right? Not just MJ, right? But yeah, that's going to continue to get bigger, right? Game theory playing out. Ukraine looking at legalization of medical. We've got, Germany coming online. You got Latin America. You got, even Thailand embracing this medicine of the future, and best industry in plant and medicine in the world. And yeah, it's just going to be a domino effect, right? Game theory. Once one or two countries do it, once one or two governments do it, it's just and then Canada, being one of the biggest countries in the world, it's just a matter of time, right? And again, that's why I'm saying I'll be here for the rest of my life making videos, and I'll be here through the thick and the thin, because I know this industry is going to create many, many multimillionaires. Not as much as crypto, in my opinion, because we're literally dealing with like hundreds of trillions of dollars. It's going to be hard for MJ to get to even 10 trillion, globally. So I would say that MJ next to crypto is going to create even more, the most millionaires. Hello, Rod. You believe Tilray will keep the trust deal alive? Hard to say. As we know, in the MD&A, Management Discussion and Analysis, with Hexo, they continue to say that management is exploring its future in trust. But yeah, it really doesn't matter at this point. In my opinion, that's not going to be a big deal breaker. But again, I would love to get an update on that. So hopefully I can do an interview with Tilray at some point soon. I'll really be striving to do that and reaching out to them and really pushing for that. And then Trust, even one time I did a video and Trust sent me some non-MJ infused beverages, some of those craft beverages that they had. And they sent me some. It was non-MJ infused, but it was just literally the craft beverage with no MJ and no alcohol. So they know who I am, and maybe I can get an interview with them as well. And we can get an update for everyone. I'm curious as well, though. Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. Lots of questions about Hexo. Yeah, well, who doesn't want to know about the best MJ company in the world? And now Tilray, we're all one big happy family. This is, yeah. Any guess on when FDA, HHS will announce their recommendation on rescheduling? Well, we know that they said before the end of the year they want to get it done. So I would say into the fall, likely sometime between the next 3 to 6 months. If I had to put money on it and I was a betting man, that's what I would say. But I'm kind of hoping, like I said, that crypto alts and alt season goes absolutely ballistic. I can cash in those profits. I'm hoping MJ kind of remains lower so that I can use that profit when I sell to dollar cost average and buy more beaten down MJ. But don't hate me for saying that, right? I know people are like, what are you talking about? I'm so tired. I don't own any crypto. I'm so tired of this MJ bear market, right? I understand that. So am I. But, investor fatigue, all that's real stuff. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we can't change anything, and we can use this. We can change our mindset. It's only going to ever be legalized in a global scale once. And once the genie's out of the bottle, there's no putting it back. Toothpaste out of the tube, there's no putting it back in. And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. There's going to be people from 10, 20 years from now, they're going to just just be so envious that we were at the position we were, and we're going to look back and say, remember when we thought all MJ was dead? It's like the same thing what happened to crypto in 2019, right? Bitcoin went to like $3,000 and then it went to $70,000, right? One point, Bitcoin was $1 and it went to $70,000, right? That's 70,000% growth. Or 70,000x, I guess it is. Now that Tilray closed over 191 US, what would you say is the next target on Tilray? I'm looking at that hourly bull flag target of around 242, was it? Pretty good with numbers. Don't ask me names because names are brutal. Yeah, 241. So close enough. I'm going to start wrapping it up. I do have to leave here in about 8 minutes, 10 minutes. But yeah, 242. And then after that, we have the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving. Let me bring it up. It was 200-day moving average at 273 and the 50 weekly at 280. So after 242, we're looking at around 280. After 280, you could easily see $5 in the cards in a hurry. Arizona Living, December 2nd, 2023. Very nice. Let's go Tilray Hexo. Absolutely. Proud to be a part of the Tilray Hexo Free Redican family. It's just absolutely amazing to see what's going on here. Should we be buying, selling puts? I don't play options. It's like people say the stock market is a casino and it's gambling. I would say that that's basically options trading. Because no one can predict time, and a lot of it's time based. And yeah, I don't know, like less than 1% of people like make money and actually become financially independent through the stock market. And I would say it's like 0.0001% actually do that through stock options. So I personally don't think I think it's just absolute pure gambling, and I'd rather just buy when we're low and sell when we're high. It's easier said than done. Most people get it the other way around. They buy high, sell low, and panic sell and panic buy. And FOMO buy. But yeah, in my opinion, just investing in MJ, investing in certain MJ companies, I don't think it's gambling, because if you do your research, if you do your hours and hours and become an expert, do your hours of due diligence and research, It's just about finding companies that are going to be here in 5, 10 plus years from now. And I've never invested in an MJ company that went insolvent or bankrupt. And that's because I put thousands of hours of research in, right? But it might have dropped 99%, but I didn't sell yet. And if you don't lose until you sell, and I certainly won't be selling. It's all money that I'm willing to lose. I didn't invest any more than I was willing to lose, didn't break that golden rule. And I've got, like I said, tons of cash on the sidelines to continue to dollar cost average. I own more crypto than I do MJ dollar wise. And whenever MJ, enters this new bull market, hopefully I can sell my crypto. And I think once crypto ends its bull market, enters a bear market, MJ will start a new bull market and its bear market. I can rotate that profit into more beaten down MJ. And if I'm thinking of doing that, then how many other traders and investors are likely to do the same thing, right? So that's just my 2 cents on that. Price targets, already went over that. So we're looking at around 242. After that, you're looking at around 280. And then after that, some runway to about $5, all USD, of course. Options are a vehicle for transferring money from retail traders to the market makers. Yeah. Well, as Warren Buffett said, the stock market is a mechanism for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. And yeah, I would agree. Options are they're just, I don't see the point. If you like it, great. I mean, everybody's different. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying not to do it. If you're making money on it, great, but that's just not for me. Yep, they expire worthless for a reason. Yeah, and I heard some people said that whenever Hexo got acquired by Tilray, their options just went poof. So imagine that, right? Screw that. No interest in that. Thinking $2. Yep. Called the bullish day. Yeah, you did. Nice one there, Mep. Shortly bullish, bearish 2 quarters from now with Hexo addition. I wouldn't count on that. They're getting rid of products that were low margin, and the Redican animal runts just hit West Coast, and then Violet Fog, and there's a few other. The animal runs is 31.4%. Like, come on! Like, wait till they get that in the readies as well. Oh no, I'm super bullish, but don't really care. Not selling anytime soon. Only going to sell when I'm financially enticed to do so, and I won't be selling anytime soon. I won't be selling any Tilray. I probably won't sell a single Tilray share until we get at least above $20. Like I just don't care. I don't need the money, and yeah, I'm not here for taco gains. I'm here for my children's future and my children's children's future, right? This is more than just me. This is more than just us. This is literally a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't have to fight with my wife anymore. Yeah, you never want to get in a position where you're fighting with your better half, right? Excited for the future of this company, absolutely. Thanks, Rod. You are the man. Appreciate it, Jamlosi. You are the man as well. Thanks for joining. Stocks, you bet on the direction, up or down. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to factor in time, right? Time is irrelevant, and that's why I don't like options. Options, you bet on a direction, up and down, and time. Way more risky, absolutely. And there's no way to predict time. I've never seen an analyst or expert be able to predict time, right? People just guess, and they look at a chart, and they say this, but, that's the one thing that we haven't been able to find out, right? And if we can, let me know. If you know anybody that's figured it out, let me know. But yeah, factoring in time, way more risky. I agree. What do you think is a good bag of Tilray stock? Well, everybody's different, right? So, maybe you're starting with 3 figures. Maybe you're investing 4 figures into Tilray, maybe 5 figures, 6 figures. I know people who are down 6 figures on Tilray because they invested way more than they were willing to lose. I would never put any more than 10% of my net worth into one industry. So MJ or crypto, I'd never put any more than 10% of my net worth into one industry, let alone one stock or crypto, right? So I would say around 10% of your net worth in an MJ industry. And then, Tilray being the leader, maybe you want to put 5% into Tilray and delegate the rest. So, run some numbers. What is your net worth? I would say around 5% of that. Options, you can still be in the money and still lose money. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but yeah. Anybody who's made money off option trading, congratulations. I wish you nothing but success. Just like everybody on here in your investing career and trading career. Day trading isn't really for me. I do it from time to time. I've had success with it. I just don't like being stuck to the computer, right? But yeah, going to start wrapping it up here. Any thoughts on CGC? I did do a couple of videos. They did have earnings. They're going to be reporting earnings. I did a post to the Power Group private community on this today. Canopy Growth to report first quarter fiscal 2024 financial results on August 9th. So we'll see that on August 9th. I'll definitely try to get a video on CGC, but in effort of time, wanted to keep this around 45 minutes. So going to end it there. Thanks everybody for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rob with Power Group. I hope you have a wonderful evening. This was a great day. I'm looking forward to the future, and I can definitely start to see light at the end of the tunnel. But hope you have a great evening. Yeah, smash the like. I would appreciate that. Share the video that with anybody that may benefit from this information. And looking forward to the next few months ahead. But the future is definitely bright, and I'm excited to be here with you all with this amazing medicine in the future and the best industry and the best medicine on the goddamn planet, in my opinion. All right, guys and gals, have a fantastic evening. I love each and every single one of you, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.